Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that we have a couple of new articles that we should go over. And they're kind of no-brainer ones, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And while you're here on the channel, you should definitely check out the video I uploaded yesterday. It's a pretty damn good one, and I would greatly appreciate that. So, the first article we'll be looking at, and both of these are going to be from Game Rant. If you guys want to check them out for yourself, I'll leave them down in the description as always. So the title states, new Bioshock game has a ton of potential. Yeah, a little bit, new studio, new game. It has a lot of potential, but I digress. Bioshock is particularly known for its haunting settings, strong philosophical themes, and twist-filled narratives. A new game in the series has been confirmed to be in development at a new studio set up by 2K, Cloud Chamber, and it could deliver on all of these points yet again. And here's something that kind of bothers me, that they're still referencing Cloud Chamber as a new studio, even though it's been in existence for almost a year now, but that's just a minor little nitpick. This new Bioshock game has a ton of potential, but there are a few big decisions the developer will need to make, and some big risks will be involved. Here are all the ways Cloud Chamber can help the next Bioshock deliver on the hype, and where the game may run into some of its greatest challenges. Again, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below of these. So the first one is a man, a lighthouse, and a city. There's always a man, there's always a lighthouse, there's always a city. Elizabeth delivers this line in Bioshock Infinite and has some huge implications for the series. On one hand, it makes the possibility that the next Bioshock will deliver a new variation of the same story formula, with a character journeying to a failed utopia and learning about its creation and downfall through environmental storytelling. The quote also hints at why this formula is so important to the Bioshock series. The Bioshock games are deeply invested in dystopias and how they're created. The original Bioshock began in the aftermath of huge riots and Rapture on New Year's Eve 1958, and players explored Andrew Ryan's failed objectivist city and the philosophical short-sightedness which led to its destruction. Similarly, Bioshock Infinite explored Columbia, a nationalist and American-centric city in the sky which was similarly eaten alive by its own doctrine. The quote doesn't just refer to the literal inclusion of a lighthouse and a city in both games, but uses the lighthouse as a metaphor for the hope placed in radical new philosophies, and the cities as the realizations of their most disastrous consequences. And honestly, that was very eloquently put. I do give props to the author of this one. So far, Bioshock's Rapture has tackled objectivism, and Columbia has taken on American nationalism. Despite the differences between the two philosophies, the series was able to make similar points about cults of personality, prejudice, and destruction. The new Bioshock has the potential to explore an entirely new philosophy, and all the aesthetics that come with it. Perhaps one example is people living in 2020, and a comment on the similarities and differences between it and the philosophies critiqued in previous games. After Bioshock Infinite took players to Columbia and back to Rapture in the Burial at Sea DLCs, the pressure is on for the next Bioshock to create a city to rival Rapture and Columbia. With one under the sea and one in the clouds, a natural third option isn't readily apparent. Cough, cough, underground. Cough, cough. However, it does give Cloud Chamber a great degree of freedom to make a new setting that is as distinct as Columbia appeared to be from Rapture when Infinite was first announced. Now let's move into gameplay improvements. The new Bioshock also has the potential to fix some common criticisms of the games. Bioshock's combat has never been this series' strong suit. Many have criticized the franchise in the past for the repetitiveness of its combat and the lack of variety in its gameplay once all of the plasmids and vigors have been unlocked. Similarly, the games have lacked meaningful moral decisions. In the original Bioshock, players were given the option to free or harvest the Little Sisters for Adam, but were not given a strong enough incentive to make choosing the latter particularly attractive, as it gave players the quote bad ending for very few mechanical rewards. Bioshock Infinite's decisions, such as whether to choose the bird or the cage, had no impact whatsoever on the outcome of the story, though this tied in thematically with its introduction of parallel universes and the inevitability of certain events. The next Bioshock should take the series in a radically new direction, tackling a new philosophy, taking players to a new setting, and adding a significant contribution to those of the game so far. It remains to be seen if Cloud Chamber is up to the challenge, which personally I have faith in them, but for now, the title has a lot of potential to take the franchise to the next level on the next generation of consoles. So let me know what you think of that article down in the comment section below. And now, let's hop into the second one. Now for the second article, I'll try to speed through it as much as possible, and essentially it's just about pushing the limits on the next generation of consoles. So the following states that Bioshock is undergoing some big changes, just as the gaming industry enters the next generation of consoles. 2K opened a new studio, Cloud Chamber, to tackle a fourth installment of the Bioshock franchise. The studio has expressed a desire to deliver the kind of experience fans expect from the series, but there are some big opportunities for the new title to push itself to the limits. From the size of its world, the unfolding of its story, and its combat, the next Bioshock game should try and deliver an experience which takes the series far beyond its first 3 games. Though Cloud Chamber will likely be tentative to make large changes in the studio's first outing with the franchise, here are some changes that should be made to make the next Bioshock a truly next-generation experience. Bioshock games are known for their worlds. Rapture, the underwater libertarian dystopia from Bioshock 1 and 2, and the Burial at Sea DLCs for Infinite, is an incredibly famous setting. Columbia, the main setting from Infinite, took players to a floating World Fair-style city in the sky, but the focus on the game's setting as its primary metaphor for exploring the rise and fall of an ideology remained the same for both. While the new Bioshock should of course try and create a new original city which has its own story to tell and its own philosophy to put under the microscope, this will likely already be a priority for the team at Cloud Chamber, and that makes sense. What should be focused on, however, is the potential that the next-gen engines have to make a Bioshock city, which pushes the game's technology limits as well as its story. This new Bioshock game should consider building a huge open-world city which players can explore. Previous installments have proven to be relatively linear, despite promising big cities to explore, with players unlocking new areas by progressing through the story and usually running and gunning from point A to point B. That's the article, not me. Just throwing that out there. The fourth Bioshock should aim to create a bigger city than the games have seen so far, and could even aim to tell a story which can unfold in a number of different ways depending on which areas are visited first. It shouldn't be the same as an open world RPG where the main story takes little precedent, but could perhaps be more similar in a relationship with its game world to titles like the 2018 God of War reboot, which took a more open world approach than God of War 3. This allowed for environmental storytelling to flourish. Considering the fact that the Bioshock games have relied a lot on environmental storytelling before, particularly through audio diaries, which can be discovered throughout the games, creating a larger, more open city setting could be a huge step forward for Cloud Chamber's take on the franchise. The next Bioshock should also attempt to fix one long-running criticism of the series, its combat. Bioshock's combat is not the franchise's strong suit, and it seems like this shares a similarity with the previous article, but I digress. And with Bioshock games often being criticized for for the repetitiveness of their combat and the use of bullet-spongy enemies like the Handyman in Infinite. If Cloud Chamber can transform Bioshock into a tighter shooter which accommodates a variety of playstyles and which has greater integration of some of the sci-fi weapons like plasmids and vigors into weapon customizations, the game may truly feel like a worthy successor to the first 3 Bioshock games. The critical focus on Bioshock, particularly the praise, has always been on its story and setting. And while living up to the expectations on those fronts will be a huge challenge for Cloud Chamber, there are still plenty of opportunities to make the next Bioshock feel like a worthy sequel on the next generation of consoles. Again, please let me know what you all think of both articles down in the description below. Leave your comments, your concerns, potential questions, whatever you guys want to ask or leave down in the comments, feel free to do so. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. And I know that the news isn't coming in as frequently as I would like. I still promised that I would update you guys when different articles or rumors or anything of that sort came out. So I'm just trying to keep my end of the bargain for you all. If you enjoyed the video and want to help me out, would you kindly drop a like? It helps the video get out there, and it helps to hit recommended to help the channel grow and to make the Rapture family a little bit bigger. Also, if you're new here and have not subscribed already, what are you doing? If you like Bioshock and you're watching the video, you should definitely hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to it to turn on all notifications to never miss a future video or a future live stream. If you want to talk to me outside of YouTube, my social medias are the best ways to do so. Things like my Twitter and my Instagram will always be open to talk if you want to DM me. The links will be down in the description below. A couple of videos will be popping up on screen now. I'd highly recommend checking them out. And with that being said, thank you all for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will talk to you all in the next video.